will they have the money to make the payouts at those levels? I don't know, but I do know that two companies got billions of dollars in loans, and a couple of smaller companies have gone out of business. And I think that there's going to be big trouble in the insurance industry, and I've told people to take their cash values out and put them into gold and silver-related assets. And, you know, the House of Representatives has had hearings, and probably late this year, early next year, we'll start debating whether to take all retirement plans and roll them into Social Security. And that would be a disaster for retirees. Just an absolute disaster. And that's how they want to fund the Social Security program. And
look at your insurance policy, see what the amount of accumulated cash is, and if it's high enough, it might not be a bad idea to think about taking the cash out of the policy right now, because like you say, a lot of them invest in stocks, bonds, and others. You go around and you see a lot of them have invested in shopping centers and that type of thing, haven't they?
Right. Those are illiquid investments, and some of them are in hedge funds and all kinds of things they really shouldn't be buying.
Now, the other issue I wanted to bring up, and it's a twofold issue, Secretary of Treasury Geithner says that they want to give $100 billion to the IMF. How can we give money to foreign operations when we're in such dire straits? And how can a lot of these banks, I'm looking at some of these figures that with the TARP money, a lot of it's going to foreign banks. How can we be using our borrowed money to send to foreign banks?
Well, it just goes to show you that government does what it feels like doing, and that you really have no say about what government does, where your tax dollars are. I mean, what we're looking at right now is horrible. I mean, you know, the government has created via bonds and money and credit, and the antics of the Fed creating money out of thin air, we have extended debt on a long-term basis by about $13 trillion. $13 trillion. And I think that could be $20 trillion by the end of this year. I mean, just on Wednesday of this week, they increased the spending by the Federal Reserve, which creates money out of nothing, by $1.2 trillion. And there's no control. They're all grasping at straws, trying to make the system work, and they can't do it because they're going at it backwards.
I can't grasp what a trillion is. A billion is 1,000 million. That I can hold on to. But when you're taking that times another 1,000 to be a trillion, 1,000 billion, these are figures that are absolutely astronomical, Mr. Chapman. I can't wrap my head around that figure that big. Well,
you can also consider the derivative market, which is supposedly $600 to $700 trillion market, and some people say it's as high as 1.25 quadrillion.
Absolute insanity. And you've been talking about this for years, the crooks and the insanity. Now the American people have finally said, enough's enough. When they go and you have AIG and other companies paying all of this money out as bonuses to the people who caused the problem. They're paying them bonus money to the people who caused the problem when other companies are making GM go to their workers and say, hey, you've got to cut your mouth. You've got a contract, but you've got to cut that. When yet they are paying these bonuses. You've got the president, Jeffrey, what's his name, of AIG. He's going up before Congress and he's saying, well, you know, we have to retain these people. Why? They caused the problem. Your reaction?
Listen, there's
always we'll wait till after the break. We'll wait till after the break. Let's look at AIG as the prime example. The government owns 80% of AIG. Why they didn't let them go under, I don't understand. If it's a capitalist society, you have winners, you have losers. AIG was a loser. Why they should have let them go under. And secondly, you've got the other problem with AIG, them paying these horrific bonuses. You've got Citigroup, the new report, they're spending $10 million redoing executive suites in their offices. You've been railing about these crooks for years, Mr. Chapman, and now the chickens have come home to roost. People are finally starting to see it. Any comments on it?
Well, on AIG, it started off as a front for the CIA, and actually the OSS, as STAR International, during the war. And in '48, when the CIA officially came into being, they fronted for the CIA. They were also a large money laundering operation as well. And of course, your government's not going to tell you this, but I was in counterintelligence in the 1950s, so I had a pretty good idea what was going on there. And there were other entities that did that as well, but not as big as AIG was. And throughout the world, they would provide cover for agents by saying that they were an agent with AIG's office in Jakarta or something. And so that's how they were able to fool people and not let them know they worked for the agency. The problem that they got themselves into is that they wrote naked derivatives, particularly credit default swaps, which are insurance policies for people who own bonds, perhaps in General Motors. And so if General Motors goes under, they get paid because they bought this insurance. Well, they bought the insurance, but the problem was that there was no money behind it. There was no way to pay the insurance off. I mean, a totally corrupt system. And so what's happened now is the government poured money in there because they want to keep it open so they can keep on laundering money, protect the CIA, protect all the pension and profit sharing plans that are in there that are getting decimated, including the U.S. Congresses. And they want to and put money in to stop a derivative implosion. And as you know, just recently, they put a lot of money into AIG. It went in the front door and out the back. All AIG served was as a conduit to send money to Goldman Sachs and J.P. Morgan Chase. I mean, just lying to the American people. And all of these monies that are being spent, they're all to benefit the banks, Wall Street, insurance companies, and some entities such as the automobile industry, which employs still a lot of people. And they bailed out General Electric, which came out this week and said they're going to make money. Give me a break. You know, these are all lies. You know, I spent 28 years in the brokerage business. I know what it's all about.